Hello my fellow modelers. Today let's look at an iconic stablemate of the Piper Cub, the Aeronca champ from the quick build series, Fiddlers Green. Let's begin. I'm telling you, the best deal you could ever get is by going to their website where you can download so many models for so little. And here we have the Aeronca champ, the main fuselage, the nose cone section, the top of the fuselage, prop, main wing, and this is the wing struts, stabilizer, and landing gear, wheels. Basically, this should put together, and it's a small break from all the military types we have on my website. And this is how you basically put it together. So let's look at the tools I use. So of course, my trusted X-Acto knife. Any knife can be used, but X-Acto is the best. Tacky glue, can't say enough about them. And of course, your school glue, your super glue, toothpick, and of course, I got this cake decorating tool. Now tweezers, you know I love preaching about the tweezers. You can never have enough. And steel rule. One more tweezer, just for safety. Now cutting out the parts. So here's my approach to building Fiddlers Green kits. I cut all the parts out, put them in a pile, and then I start with them methodically. For example, I might start with the nose cone, then the fuselage, then go up to the stabilizers, that type of thing. So we just cut, put aside so we can focus on the one we need to focus on. And apparently, I'm starting with the wing struts. So remember, I print on 160-gram sheet paper, or you can simply get your regular office copy paper, which is like a bond paper, 20 pound, and you double it, all right? And that will help tremendously. Now, I cannot say enough, get yourself tacky glue, okay? Because when you're doing this, which is what I'm building first, and press it against a flat surface, I'll put it aside and it will stiffen quite nicely. So let's go to the Cowling Assembly. Pretty much this is straightforward, but here's my additional thing to it. The cake decorating tool I've got, you can also use the tip of a brush handle just to put a little bit of curvature in it. Just add a little more realism, and this will help you in the future when it comes to building other kits. When I start, I am not going to glue the bottom first. I'm going to glue the face of the cowling to the sides first. Because look, it's a fun skill, but it's not 100% accurate. So this helps somewhat with the accuracy of the kit. There you go. Trust me when I say invest in getting tacky glue or any super quick drying glue that will help. Nothing too watery, it really will help your model building. And there you have a decent cowling. So the main fuselage. Now for me, I overdid it. I made it probably a little too technical, but the results are amazing. So after you cut out the excess and you take the top of the fuselage to put aside, you now use the back of the knife to square along the edges what you see I've done here. It is not absolutely necessary, it's optional, but it sort of gives the model a little more realism, so to speak. Because now I'm going to gently fold along those lines, as you will see here. and then I fold along the back there. Because when you look at the Aeronca Champ in real life, it does have those multiple ridges. And at the front now, all I'm using is my brush handle to put the curve in for the front. I'm gluing the top first, so we secure our model there. Then I'm gluing where the forward cockpit is, and then I glue below. Alright, so take your time. Then we glue the tail, but not together, because now I'm going to put an extra sheet in there. I'm going to cut aside. It's a card strip so that we stiffen the tail and we press against a flat surface, and there you go. And of course, again, like I said, trimming is always involved to bring beauty to the model. And then we put the final piece on top on the model. So with the multiple folds that you made, the multiple scores, it's excellent. And then we add our fuselage. If you look to the underside of the fuselage, the way how it's kinked, it lines up properly down below and you're good to go. The top now, you secure solidly here, so it's flat where the wing will go. Awesome. So now the stabilizer. You know my method already. Once we cut this out and we fold the edges on a steel rule, we then put a toothpick in so that we get a level stabilizer at the back. If you can do this to these models, you'd be surprised how much more it look real, relatively. Okay, so here you see I am putting in the toothpick, cut it short, and then we glue our stabilizer both ends, and we secure using our tweezer on the underside of the model that we fold down. And there you have it, really solid stabilizer. And now onto the main wing assembly. So once we cut this out and we cut the edges with the scissors, watch what happens. Of course, we're going to fold the leading edge over onto our ruler. We're not going to overdo it. It's just enough to get that proper fold, and then we use our brush handle to form the curve at the top. The cake decorating tool takes care of the curve on the wingtip. Now that part where you see I scored, you see how I'm closing that gap? Perfect. And then we do along the edge. Thank you so much for all your support, and I would love if you're new to this, hey, maybe you could consider subscribing. It really would help me a lot. My dream is to build as much model as possible, and one day even do it on a every other day basis where I can present this. It would be awesome. So once we got both wings done, here's what I'm going to do. Take a toothpick, put a slight crank in there. Yes? And then I'm going to super glue that into position on the trailing edge, and then put some glue on and stick that other end on the leading edge. Awesome. You see what I've done? It lends some structural integrity. Now it's not a big dihedral, it's just slightly. And then we apply our quick drying glue on top, and then we put the wing on top of the fuselage. And there you have it. Awesome. Then we put our canopy windshield in place on the top. Great. And then remember, to, there you go, at the back. Now we're starting to look like the champ that we all know. Great. Loving it. So let's put in our wing strut. Now remember, these are what we glued in the very beginning. We gave it time to dry, so it'll be strong enough now. And we just use our knife, go in, and make a small slot as shown here on the wing and on the fuselage. Insert. And you can trim as possible. Like I said, it's not 100% accurate, so some trimming might be involved. But here you see I have put in, we just make sure it's firm, and then we just super glue the joints. And both sides looking good. So onto the landing gear. This should be simple and straightforward, how we make our landing gear. Here's the thing. Once we cut the landing gear braces out, and then the landing gear strut itself, we score with the back side of our knife, then we fold on the steel rule, and we glue. What we're going to do after we press against the board and make it straight, we're going to cut the landing gear joint area shorter to then accurately insert and then secure it in position with super glue. The strut brace, we're going to just simply glue in position and repeat the process for the other side. Again, we're cutting the joint area shorter so we have room to play with adjusting the gear to the proper area. And there you have it. Nice. Awesome. The tail wheel. It's simply a matter of carefully cutting out, doubling it, and install. The thing is, remember, because it's paper and it's so small, it's delicate. So what I've always done as a rule of thumb, once we put it in position, we super glue it. That way it becomes very sturdy. And there you have it. And then super glue. So it won't bend, it won't twist, it will stay sturdy. And remember, this model is light. Now to put on the main landing gear wheels. Remember, the thickness of the wheel, I've just made it barely thicker than what is on the paper. Mind you, it is supposed to be even twice as thick as I have made it. Okay, so to add a little more realism, you probably would want to double or triple the thickness. That is fine. So here you see I'm now putting both sides. Then once that's fitted, we use this glue first to hold it in place and then super glue to secure it. There you go. Awesome. Don't worry about the white. We'll come to that when the time comes for finishing. Awesome. So onto the prop. So cut out the prop, pretty standard. What we do, take a toothpick, cut a small section of it, then glue it to the center of the prop base. Secure that with super glue, and then we make a hole where the prop would have been, the prop shaft, and we put him in position. Awesome. There we have our Aeronca champ. Now it's time for the finishing. Spend the time, 20-30 minutes painting all the edges. It'll make a world of difference. Well, that will be it for now. I just want to thank all of you for what you have done. especially my Patreon members. Thank you so much for letting me dream big and to be able to present these models to you. And I hope many of you might consider one day in joining us. So until then, my friends, take care, be gentle to yourself, and one love.